All right, so we're gonna try to move the Cressida in. We've got a vacuum line for the ECU that we're just gonna hit it with carb cleaner because I'm too lazy to try to push this in. All right, let's give it a shot, man.
Want me to spray it?
Yeah. A little bit more. Good. Ah, boo. Give it a couple bursts. Almost there. We're like halfway there. All right, so we made it most of the way. Almost there. Almost there.
Many months later.
Yay! We made it in.
It gets to the point where it starts pulling it out of the
can. Nope, we made it in. That's all that matters.
Oh, my hands are stinging.
Best way to find a cut. All right, we got the fuel tank out of the Cressida. It was actually full of fuel that smells really old, so it smells like a junkyard. On initial inspection though, the tank itself looks relatively okay. It's been sitting a while because there's more organisms growing here, but here's the fuel pump that came out of it. It's definitely an aftermarket pump, but the fuel filter even fell apart. And even this is like the piece of like stuff that they give you to like insulate the pump, like it's all caking off and falling apart. So it's safe to say that this pump is probably no good. But I actually think the reason why the pump is no good is because if you look here, there's a lot of buildup here, and I think that it was just actually having a bad ground. And the reason why I say that is because that you can even see that some of the wires were starting to melt, and the ground was repurposed here. So this is like the factory ground. So I really think that we just need to add a new ground altogether, and that potentially should fix the problem. But yeah, there's definitely something going on here though, and that's probably the reason why it was blowing the fuse on the fuel pump here. But all right, so we've got the Cressida fuel pump hanger here, and we've got the parts that we need to fix this. So this is an AM 340 pump. Part number 51200. We got the Detours fuel pump hardwire kit, FPHWK. And then I don't know what the part number for this, but this comes from ACL. It's just a bulkhead fitting that's fuel resistant. So the problem that we think we're having, based off of how the insulation and the wiring looks on this guy, is that we think there is an issue with ground. There's a lot of corrosion on the fuel pump hanger. So what we're going to do is we're going to add this bulkhead fitting in this position, and we'll be able to run a brand new ground and a brand new power wire for it. So now what we've got to do is basically we're going to drill this out, which is extreme pain to do, but we're going to drill this out, and like I said, it'll allow us to feed new wires in to our new fuel pump, and then we should be good to go. One thing that I want to note as well too is that we do not have to drill through here. There's enough material here that we could basically drill through over here or even over here to get it in. And so the biggest thing though, that when you are working with bulkhead fittings, is always going to be space. And so what I mean by that is that this nut here goes on the very bottom side of it. So let me remove this really quick here. So with the bulkhead fitting removed, you'll see that there's this little washer thing here, and then we've got this nut. This nut's going to go on the bottom side, and while this goes on top, and you really have to make sure that you have enough room to get a wrench in here to tighten this guy up. But other than that, that's all you really need to worry about. So we were able to get this out. The factory piece came out pretty easily. The issue is that it's really close to the gasket edge, but I think we'll be okay. But it is, ideally we should have moved it over a little bit, but it's hard to drill an offset hole. But these things are like the bane of my existence. So if you've ever done a fuel pump, you know that it goes on here. The way I do it is I put a socket on this and then I just kind of push down on it, and usually that works. Let me know how you guys do it in the comments below. All right, so the fuel pump is assembled. We had to do some trimming down here to get it all sat. We got a little bit of PTFE here to obviously hold it in place, and there is the bulkhead fitting. So you can see we got the wires extended. We put a service loop in it. Everything is basically good to go for us to reinstall this guy. So the one thing that we have a concern about is that the bulkhead wiring fitting is a little bit taller than the rest of the fuel pump housing. And so the reason why that's a concern for us is that in order to get the fuel pump, we had to drop the tank. So we're worried about how close it's going to be to the rest of it. We may still have to cut out a small hole just to clear that if it becomes an issue, but just basically eyeballing it, we've got quite a bit of room, so I think we're going to be okay. But if it ends up being a problem, we'll either massage it or we'll just cut it out. That way we have enough clearance for the bulkhead so we don't have any potential wires rubbing against the chassis. All right, so we got the fuel pump in. It was a little bit of a pain. We had to massage this area just a little bit to get the bulkhead fitting. We didn't know if it actually needed it. We just went ahead and did it because the tank was already out. So we gave it a little bit of massaging. I don't think it's that big of a deal. We key it on. I can hear the pump and I can feel it. I don't know if you guys can or not, but we definitely have fuel pressure up front. So let's walk over there to the front. Oh. And you can see that the fuel pressure gauge is reading. It's probably going to drop here soon, but it definitely is working. So this black wire here, I tapped this into the factory wiring a long time ago. This comes from the wiring specialties harness, and this is our fuel pump trigger. And what we're going to do here is we're going to cut this wire and we're going to send it to this the DeechWorks hardwire kit, and that'll trigger this on, and then it'll get power from the battery and then relay it over to the fuel pump. We're not going to use any of the factory wiring anymore because we obviously have the bulkhead wiring that we ran directly to the fuel pump, so there's virtually no need for that. So most of the connections are going to go here with the exception of a wire from the relay to the battery. Alrighty, so I went ahead and snipped the power wire here just to be on the safe side. We still have this grounded because it may be used for the fuel level potentially. I don't know, but we're gonna leave that ground there. Not gonna hurt us. So we got the fused wire here. I put a little service loops in it. That way we have some spare. And then let's move some of this wire out of the way here. So we got the power wire here from the battery to the relay. The opposing side of the relay, which is this red wire here, also has a service loop, goes directly to the pump. We've got this is the ground wire that's grounded to this little pin on the bottom side. You can't see it from here, but the relay is also grounded there. I checked it earlier to make sure it's got a good ground. This is our trigger wire from the relay. So now if everything works, we should be able to key it on, the pump should run, and we should actually get this thing to start it. We got a couple of gallons of gas in here, that fresh gas, mind you. And so let's see if this thing will start. All right, moment of truth. Fuel level's probably not right. Starts and runs. Doesn't run very good, but starts and runs. So we have the idle valve completely closed. Unfortunately, it's not working. We actually had to plug the idle valve partially with a bag to get it to idle good, but the valve is like just completely open regardless of what's happening. So we've got a bag here that's just blocking this off for now, and it's, as you can hear, it's idling pretty good. The problem is that the valve is like wide open, and I'm not really sure why, but unfortunately it could be just from sitting for too long or something. But regardless, the fans are running right now. We're just gonna let it run, let it kind of go through its paces here. We're gonna have to definitely check our fuel pressure, but we know that there's barely any fuel in it. So we're gonna have to definitely check out what's all going on with it. So the next steps are gonna be the idle valve and, you know, maybe adjusting fuel pressure or adding if we need to. But as you can see, it runs, it idles pretty smooth. And it's like crazy to me that this car's been sitting for so long and it's still sounding like this good. No crazy noises, you know, no rattling lifters or anything like that. So it runs. But yeah, unfortunately, I think we're at this point, we're gonna have to put a pin into it. We're gonna talk to the owner to see what he wants to do, because again, there's a very good chance that he's gonna wind up getting rid of this car. So I don't know how much more money he wants to dump into it, but now it runs, so it needs a little bit of love here and there. So if you guys are interested in a 1J powered Cressida that has a standalone and a bunch of suspension mods, you know, reach out to us. Maybe we can get you guys set up. All right, so it's been running for a while. Temperatures look good. Let's go ahead and get this thing out. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna find a place for it to park, where we can park this thing and just let it sit. We're gonna let it run through all the fuel that's in it. We put, you know, we dumped out most of the old gas, but there's still quite a bit left in it. And then we added, I think 3 or 4 gallons of it, fresh fuel. So there's going to, it's still not exactly empty. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing out, find somewhere where we can park it, where it can just live for a while, figure out what's next. All right, so that's that. Not much else to do here, but just to let it run and go through the fuel that's in it and put some more fresh one and figure out what he wants to do from there. All right, so that's it for this one, guys.